Hello, this is George Lees making a video to make sure that this woman, who is the woman that makes the obscene comedy movie with the Python team, who are all billionaires that they're laughing at the same jokes, that TESCO is named after TODESCO and the Austrian nobles who were Jews that were stripped of their titles but nothing else. They were allowed to keep their wealth, they were allowed to get tax breaks if they kept their uniforms and their gear on that made them part of that massive Austrian empire that is still owned by the Esterhazy families and the von Mises and everything that is the emperors of Austria even today. And this is Julie Walters, who made the movie about the personal services and prostitution. The Parker woman that is the daughter of the she's a politician, she's old and crinkly now, but she's dedicated her life to closing brothels in Soho region in London, where she's responsible as the politician for. This one makes all the movies about running the brothels, and all of her customers are part of the fascist history. Yeah, that's Admiral Canaris and all of the people that come to her brothel. When they go there and they pay for the personal services, they get a hand job, and that is called a POPOSOCULU. And in that movie, that is really funny. But when you learn that at the Sidney Street siege in Tottenham, yeah, which is the mark of the Legion on Tottenham Hotspur's jerseys, yeah, and the Jewish cemeteries for Barent-Cohen. Cohen is the founder of TESCO's. TODESCO is one of the elite families from Vienna, and all of the European empires that run the world, with the Rothschilds and all the other family names. The ARNSTEINs are particularly cynical, because that is Arius Calpurnius Piso's Aniston label. Yeah, his nicknames as he fakes up the Bible. Yeah, and it's tragic, because the training of Stalin and the Sidney Street siege to get Stalin out of the building and into the leadership team for World War II, Churchill was there pointing the gun at them as if they were enemies in that double agent war. Yeah, and that is the POPOSOCULU hand job, is the name of the only policeman that was shot dead at the siege. Yeah, really funny for this woman who's dedicated, like the Python's billionaires, all of her life to covering up the fascist history of our country. Okay, so they may litigate against me for proclaiming that TODESCO is the naming of TESCO. Yeah, T is the Christian cross, and Piso is the name of the Bible author. Yeah, lovely little switch to put the non-existent Jesus into your TODESCO naming plot, so that the Barent-Cohens, that were the first people to marry into the Rothschild families and launch those Jewish cemeteries in Tottenham, where the Sidney Street siege occurred. Yeah, it is all completely evil, and Tottenham's most famous player is now a football commentator. He had a religious period in his life, because he is related to Hudal, that's descended from Hudal. That's the Hudals that were Pope Pius XII, the Nazi Pope's second in command, in charge of the laundering out through Odessa and all of those places of the Nazis that led the regime in the war and were allowed to escape from the crooked trials at Nuremberg, run by the families that become the Lawrences of Liverpool. And that is another cover for Princess Anne marrying the Lawrence and the Lawrence murders in the suburb of London where I used to catch the bus into Woolwich, and every terror event I can now explain. I don't know how much it cost for a POPOSOCULU, but that was the hand job in her brothel, and that is the naming. That is the name of the policeman who was shot at the Sidney Street siege. And if you go to personal services and the recent video I've made on TESCO, you'll be able to see the director numbers for the politician that is the daughter of the founder of TESCO's, who is a Cohen. Yeah, and that is Barent-Cohen and Rothschild, and that is the surname for Ali G and his professorial brother, and all of it is for them a huge belly laugh until the truth comes out. Okay, let's get it going. Her name is Shirley, no, I forgot what her name is. I've mentioned it earlier on. And on the real video that I've uploaded, they tell you that there are 20,000 Austrian noble names that are still being used today, and that they are listed or cited on the information below the video that I captured on the earlier video. But I should have added some of these hilarious scenes. Yeah, all the terminology is about the cock and bull stories, that are the cock being the penis, yeah, the cock being the chicken, and all the Arius, Copernicus, Piso nicknames are laughed at in here. Little tins of sardines, and on and on and on and on it goes. Yeah, and all of it is turned into slightly sexual connotations, and that is what this woman's life has been all about.
Bertram, I'm not eating this. I've got an ingrowing toenail, not ingrowing taste buds. Bertram! Mother, you have to keep to a budget. So do I, but I can do better than this. Calm down and eat up. I'll see you later. Mr. Taylor! How did it go? Right, back to me. Straight on. Stop!
So the title of this video, which is 18 minutes long, is TESCO adverts. Yeah, it's had 36,000 views, and I want it to prevent them litigating against me. Only one, when I tried to find it again last night, only one video featuring Julie Walters was still live on the internet. And there are the Austrian nobles. They are dead ringers for the godfather that is depicted beside her shopping trolley. Right then.
Break the bank. Onward! Look at the price of those! Oh, sorry, you can you?
At TESCO, we believe in real value for money. So you'll always make savings without skimping on quality.
Right, back to our 10. Tally-ho!
That's pretty. It's for my mother. She's in hospital. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this place for her.
TESCO.
Right.
Every little helps.
Mother, where's your money?
In my handbag.
Where's your handbag?
In the hall. At home.
How embarrassing.
Oh, well,
Don't say another word. I'll get it. Really, it's the end.
Debit £5, please.
So did you know that Piso are the Bible authors, and that T is the Christian cross, and that Todesco is one of the Jewish families that was stripped of their title in 1919 after World War I. Yeah? And after that, the killing of 1.5 million people in Stalingrad is the same joke. Yeah, because that was then named St. Peter after the first Arian Bible author's massive scam that he named himself in the Bible St. Peter, the first Bishop of Rome, and the timing of all of that means that even the man that was Arius Calpurnius Piso, who was the master writer of the Bible and the head of that family, he was not alive on the year dot when Jesus was alleged to have been born. Yeah, he was born in about 30 AD, and he lived to a ripe old age. He got into his 80s, and he wears a turban, and he is a Jew, and this is the launch of the Christian Bible, and he wrote the Quran too, but did not publish that. It was left in their secret vaults, and that is the Villa Papyri, is the name of their house, first in Naples, and then they went to Greece so that they could destroy all of the pagan gods, and all of the names are no longer known by the human race because they've been replaced by pisopistakes. Anyway, let me get an archive of how Tesco has turned into a pan-global joke. But they are a very efficient supermarket, and I love to shop there, and their staff are fabulous. At least at the bottom of the food chain, the Parker woman is still a politician. Totally decrepit now, needs a stick to get around.
Club Card Plus is a unique new account with many advantages. One of which is that when you pay at Tesco, all you need is your card.
And if you have not noticed it, a lot of my recent videos are on the P and O shipping lines. It is the same joke as Tesco. Yeah? Piso beginning to end, and that for me as a Catholic altar boy is Alpha to Omega on the Easter candle that is the Paschal candle, yeah, celebrating the death of the non-existent Jesus in 32 AD when Arius Calpurnius Piso was born to write him into the Bible and into the Freemasonic numbering system which still prevails today. Yeah? And monitors and manipulates everything that appears even in the parliamentary documents and the ministerial affairs of people like Shona Robinson, who's going to introduce toxic drugs when she gets to the magic Piso number of 60. Yeah? And 16 is the female vagina. That is the pie story, and that is the American pie that gets Taylor Swift all lit up and allows her to shake it off on screen. Same for Britney with the Amy video. All of it is about the Piso pie being the snatch or the vagina for the women, and that is Fania for all of the roles that Jennifer Aniston plays, and she's just cover for the fact that Piso's one of his favourite nicknames was Ariston, and that is the families that is Anistine in the Austrian nobility. Arnstein, sorry. Yeah, and you should see the wind blowing everybody's towels up. Pete, you've made a great decision today. The Aryan blonde white flags are going to need picking up and rewashing. Right then.
That's just getting easier and easier, isn't it? Come along, let's go home.
For more details, call 0800 31 41 51.
Plus, do you get it? That is the joke on every bus in this country. They are plus buses, and that reads as pious for the first Piso popes, and that is Pope Pius XII, that was Glenn Hoddle's, yeah, boss at Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, that's Glenn Hoddle became an evangelistic preaching person, and he still commentates on the football matches. Arsene Wenger is the cover for the Arsenal Pharaoh bloodline, and he's been forced into resignation because all of that story leads to the Arsenal pineapple on the heads of the players and the chanting of the crowd. And now that I've made so many videos on that corrupted theme, and the links to Cleopatra and Mark Antony, and the Egyptian pharaohs, it is a massive piss take, and is the naming of Highbury and the stadia and the homes for Rothschild in London.
Now you know where to get hold of.
Yes, Mother. Round my neck.
And don't forget to water the plants.
Excuse me, it is Mrs. Neal, Dottie's daughter, isn't it?
Yes.
She asked us to prepare this salad for you. The TESCO?
So that's the penis in the Bible, loaves and fishes for Jesus. That is basting the penises of the soldiers that you have confined to the castle that you're laying siege to, when they try and escape and feed their families. Like the Jesus story, they get captured, they get executed, their penis is cut off and basted into bread with shit, and then it is sent by ballista back over the castle walls to show your loved ones that you're no longer with them. That, in the Piso Bible, is the loaves and fishes joke. You'd be familiar with it if you watch the El Cid movie in toto. The movie clips about using the ballistas for that purpose have now been taken off the social media. And that for America is the hot dog joke, and every time that the chosen ones for the non-existent moonshot that were made in that film about the Jaeger bombs and Chuck Yeager being the best pilot in America but not making it into the moonshot team, that is the hot dog. Every one of the moonshot candidates celebrates by doing high fives and chanting hot dog, which is the ancient loaves and fishes joke for the Piso family. So that is Piso, that is ever so close to TESCO and P and O, and if you do not believe me, just watch some of my earlier videos. And all the women that get their kit off include Jennifer Aniston. Please watch her Telly Savalas and Vince Vaughn video on the breakup in her marital home. That will show you that the Piso vagina is the meaning of life for these teams, and King Herod, played by Telly Savalas, is part of the massive Emperor Augusta piss take that is the launch of globalism.
We want you to get the most out of your food.
Want to try pan-fried with roasted fennel and a bottle of Chardonnay.
So if there's anything we can do to help, from suggesting recipes to knowing what's in season, we will.
Shall I take the head off?
No, I'll do that. A good practice.
Circumcision. Annie Dolphin. That's the professoriate at St George's Hospital, Wimbledon, when all of the terror occurred in London. And that is the 7/7 bombings, all of it involving the British Royals, and Cressida Dick killed Menendez, and she is now the head of the Met Police, as it was written by the Pisos, and that is the Piso Polis that are the mafia through all of world history. Anyway, we better get on, otherwise we will not be able to see the magnitude of all of the products in Tesco's that are a piss take for Piso.
Excuse me, Mrs. Neal?
That's Neil and Nile, and the Nile being the river of blood, like the Vistula Valley in Poland, and all of it is between the women's legs.
TESCO. Hopes.
Oh dear, I just can't decide. What have you chosen? Hag Symphony?
Yes, with mustard.
Mustard and rosemary. I had it last week. Delicious.
Yes, it is.
And probably an absolute godsend for the older man who's all that sixes and sevens in the kitchen.
Probably.
What are you having with it? Mediterranean vegetables. Dear me, I can see you're in need of a few pointers. Now, come on,
For food lovers everywhere, Tesco introduced their new finest range, a selection of foods made from the finest ingredients.
I think it's Grayson. Poor love, it's probably been living on tin sardines for years.
Little fishes like Rick Stein, Anna Stein, Jennifer Anistons Kit Off. Watch Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston's breakup trailer and understand King Herod and the Telly Savalas and the meaning of the Fania in global religious history.
Tesco finest. Every little helps.
To be given wood.
Trees. If you want to help protect Britain's trees and forests, recycle your Christmas cards at Tesco. Last year, thanks to you, we helped the Woodland Trust protect over 19,000 trees by recycling over 630 tons of Christmas cards. But best of all, we can sell them back to you as valuable. Recycle your cards at Tesco. Every little helps.
So that could have been Jimmy Alois Nail. His real name is Jimmy Bradford, and he was with Billy Bradford on the Pilgrim Fathers listings. Yeah, that is Jimmy Alois Bradford, picked to be in the A. Louis dynasty from Bourbon and Versailles. Yeah, and you cannot get bigger piss takes than that, and I believe that he is likely to be a Percy because of the facial structure of the actor. He's been disappeared since they made the Falklands videos about dancing across the landmine places, because in all the wars all of the profiteers are double agents. Yeah, and everybody with Alois in their name are in that category. That is Pope Benedict, that is Alois Rothschild and the parents of Hitler. Yeah, and Hitler's daughter is Miss Merkel, and you've learned recently with my other videos that the Austrian nobility is riddled with those jokes. Yeah, even Jimmy Tarbuck and all those decrepit comedians are part of the Austrian noble listings, and the rest of it is officially censored now since I made the YouTube videos that are Austrian Nobility 1 and 2. Okay, I hope you're hearing me through that camera. Let's show you some more Tesco adverts. You get the Todesco family being with the Arnsteins and the Rothschilds, the earliest ones to proclaim that they're coming out of those massive Kinsky castles and mansions. Yeah, they're called in Austria Schlosses, and that is the candy schloss joke that Mrs. Simpson, when she was waiting for her divorce to her second husband to come through, was with the abdicated king in the candy schloss in Austria. And the road to Hitler's nest in Bavaria is 999, and that was the call out number for the police all over Britain. Yeah, and all of it continues as a massive joke for the innocent place that is Tesco's. I do not want anything to happen to them. Yeah, unlike the P&O shipping lines, it is a massive joke for the world elites. And remember that they sink ships for profit right through world history, and that with the running of the ambulances is Percy history, and Jimmy Nail may well be a Percy. Facial structure alone is the giveaway. this one's quite humorous. Everyone in this team is a fascist, and the moderate term for them is capitalist.
Mother, there's a baby in the car.
I know it's ours.
Ours?
Just for the afternoon. My friend Mrs. Thomas asked me to take it to the park.
This isn't a park.
Well, it's a car park. Over there, right by the entrance in the trolleys. See? Easy. It's all right, she's got the baby.
At Tesco, we'll do everything we can to help people with babies.
Ah, she's sweet. What's the name?
Name?
Thank you. We call her Thingy. Come along, Thingy.
Would you like to change your baby, madam?
No, we're quite happy with this one, thank you.
Mother?
Tesco. Every little helps.
I've done the shopping, Mother. You didn't go to Tesco then? Well spotted, Miss Marple. Right, let's compare prices. Cressida, what did you pay? Look, my price beats yours again. Let's hope he inherits Granny's financial flair. There, on that you paid a penny more at Tesco.
What?
Let's see.
At Tesco, we check the prices on 600 unbeatable value items every week. That's why we believe they're unbeatable, or we'll refund twice the difference.
Thank you. Very well, Freddie. Pocket money. His name is Francis. We'll see.
Tesco. Every little helps.
Oh, look. That's even less than it was last week.
Perhaps they're having a closing down then.
I'll ask.
Excuse me, when are you closing?
Oh, you've got a few hours yet, madam. Grab it.
At Tesco, we're determined to sell for less, which is why we've cut the prices on 1,000 of your favourite products.
Not long to go now, eh?
It's not a sale. We just think our customers deserve low prices. Permanently.
Don't worry. If you need a reference, I'll put in a good word for you. Goodbye. Good luck. Goodbye.
Tesco. Every little helps.
Mrs. Neal to the fresh room, sir.
So, here's the buttons jokes coming up. Everything is a mistake. Yeah? All of it. And there's my there is my confirmation. There is the autoroute 999 to Hitler's nest in Austria. Yeah? Remember, the Todesco family are from Austria. They are the Austrian nobles like Rothschild, and they get stripped of their names and their titles unless they are performers and entertainers like Von Aber. There is Eva Braun sitting with her little blue dress on above the words dial 999. That is the autoroute number, as you can see. Yeah, just to the right of 999 is autoroute 999, which takes you to Hitler's nest in Germany. And there, at the top of the image, right next to Hitler, and right between him and the glider, is Archbishop Hoodle, who becomes Glenn Hoddle in the Sidney Street siege, and all of the following cover-ups that involve the Personal Services movie. And let me see if we can find an image of the Sidney Street siege. There are the Mitford sisters, yeah, and the fascist rallies. I don't know whether or not the Cohens were part of that. They may be relatively innocent in the planning of World War II, but they launched TESCOs and they became Barent-Cohen, the first lovers of Rothschild, and the first marriages of Rothschild, when they began to realise that the prospects of having babies when you marry your brother and sister and your cousin are rather limited. And there's the Tottenham mark of the Legion on every one of those Nazi hats for the Mitfords of Northumberland, where the Percys come from, and Jimmy Nail does too. And they went to Germany as bricklayers for a laugh. Yeah, and there's Mrs. Simpson, who married in the the massive hotel that is they waited in the slush, that is the candy slush in Austria, before the divorce came through, and allowed the abdicated king. And there are all the Rothschild bankers that are de Gaulle and Pompidou meeting Nixon, who was privy to the plot to get rid of the returning troops, using the mobsters from America who went to Italy with all the automatic weapons and gunned down the returning troops so that they could not go back and start a revolution and take over the Rothschild-owned countries all around the globes. Yeah, so that's Eva Braun working in the last few days in the Hitler bunker as a photographer, and they only married within days of the and that's in my Austrian Nobility videos. And there are the sick cards that show you that World War I and the writing home is a massive piss-take. I am scared a bit a lot. Please send me a clean pair of underpants. Yeah, I have been blown up, shot and bayoneted and gassed and buried in a shell hole. You're only allowed to sign it. I am missing in action because my body has not been found. I have been blown to bits. Yeah, and that was Hitler's role in World War I, was to help with the censoring of those messages. He trained in Liverpool, yeah, and that is the books that were written by Beryl Brainbridge, and all the comedies that were made by the Monty Python team, and the killing at Monte Cassino is one of the biggest jokes for that team. Yeah, there's the Hambros, there's the Rothschilds, and everything that happened in that war. That is the striped zebra for Rothschild, who are on the list of those Austrian nobles with Todesco. And their very first marriages were to Barent-Cohens, and that becomes Ali G, and you can see how decrepit it is. And there's Hitler, daughter of Alois Rothschild, and there is the second Baron Rothschild and Geli Rabal that was part of the Hitler family. And then they go to Ireland and they become Patrick Hitler and his friends. Yeah, and he supported Everton in Liverpool, and all of it is massive. And that zebra is the wild ass, and that is the gear that all the fascists wear, like Mrs. Simpson's hat. And there are the Hitlers. This is the one I want you to see, because it's the Sidney Street siege at the bottom there, with Winston Churchill poking his head round the corner, and that is where Poposoculu gets killed by a gunshot, and Stalin is allowed to escape, yet to become the ruler of Russia, 1907 to 1911, trained at the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. And there's Hermann Göring and all of Donald Trump's relatives. Yeah, and all of it is absolutely massive. That is Sidney Street in Tottenham, where the Jewish cemetery was. Yeah, and that is for the earliest Barent-Cohens. Yeah, remember that Cohen is the founder of Tesco's. Yeah, I do not want them to suffer for that. There's nothing that the current owners can do. And there's Houston Stuart Chamberlain, Iron Cross from the Kaiser for his pre-war activities. Yeah, and that is the equivalent of the demonisation of the German goods by Untermeyer and Brandeis. Okay, and there's all the code names in Operation Winnie the Pooh. Ian Fleming is Pooh, Winnie the, Winston Churchill is Tigger, Desmond Morton is Owl, General Ismay is the Heffalump, Patricia Faulkner is Alice, Admiral Mountbatten is Charlemagne, and all of them are serial killers. Ribbentrop is Rue, Adolf Hitler is Rabbit, the SS is Rabbit's friends, the Gestapo is Rabbit's relations, Admiral Darlan is Woozle, and the Comte de Paris is Prince Henry de Orleans, and that is Monsieur Robin in the code names. And there are Untermeyer, Brandeis, and all the fucking Dad's Army traitors that were actually major figures all through the war. Re-elect the man who will keep your sons out of the war, Woodrow Wilson. And there's Mannering of the HSBC with his mate Wilson, yet second in command in Dad's army, and that's why the Rothschilds run one in their massive mansions. In Tring, where the Rothschild Museum now has the zebras that were towing their car into the war. And there is Samuel Untermeyer and the Jewish Supremacy Corps, and the two flags. The first is the Rothschild bloody red hexagram that then in 1945 or 6 or 7 becomes the Israeli blue hexagram for Shimon Peres, who is related to Lionel Messi and the Percys of Anik, and Barbara Pierce is the mother of George W. Bush. And all of it cannot get more evil, but they continue with it to this very day, which is why I want the innocent people at Tesco's to be shielded from any kickback as a result of the making of these videos. And there is Woodrow Wilson, who had an affair, and he's the man that had to was coerced by the two new Jews, Untermeyer and Brandeis. That's Untermeyer there, and that's Brandeis, the lookalike for Norman Wisdom there, and the current folk that are lookalikes for him visit the bars in Dundee and present the weather forecast for the BBC. Right then, let's play a little bit more on the Tesco theme. And there's President Truman, whose body double sits in the Victoria Bar in the town, and there is Bill Clinton, who is the son of Winston Churchill by artificial insemination, like Bill Clinton is, and the current Queen is, and Princess Margaret, whose lover was Snowden, which is now Snowden, who's been sent to Russia and is a spy, and all of that is condoned by Professor Kenneth Kalman of Glasgow University and Durham University, who I've met several times and was my collaborator, and I'm now totally appalled that I fell into that trap. Yeah, that's the Kalman Rothschild and the taking over of the Vatican. Yeah, and there's the other Dad's Army cast members, Albert Pike, and the killing of all the American Indians. Yeah. And the Freemasons then rule the world, and there's the genocides in World War II at Treblinka and the death camps, and all of the roasters that become the top of your car and the uneven structure there. And that is the ins and outs of the swastika and the limbs that everybody dances to. Let's now take you back to Tesco's. We're 6 minutes into the 18-minute video.
Thank you, please.
Yes, a guava. That's a pear-shaped fruit from Brazil. Mrs. Neal? Yes. It's your mother.
Mother? Yes, sir. There's something called the guava on the menu. Now, I want you to try it for me and see if I like it.
At Tesco, we've introduced try before you buy.
Yes, Mother, I think you'll like it. No stones to choke on.
Right. What?
So that's the lemons, and that's the lemon bank, and all of it is a huge joke. That is the crashing of the banks in 2008, and that is the Lehman Brothers. What did that? Yet that becomes the Celtic manager, and everything is a cover-up for everything else, and nothing is innocent, and all the innocent people starve to death on street corners or are sectioned by their doctors who trained as policemen before they were sectioned.
Or guavas then.
So if there's any ready-to-eat foods you'd like to try, all you have to do is ask.
Mrs. Neal, to the cheese counter, please.
TESCO. Every little helps.
Hi. Sorry, it's Dotty. Got some sugar there, nice.
Looks as if we've gone to Glencoe now, like the Pythons team, and they were making movies on Glencoe when we used to go through that valley on our route to the Western Isles, where Donald's relatives still reside. And this is where Jimmy Savile was demonised at the end of his life, or beyond the end of his life. And all of it is the Saviles that are the aristocrats and are directors on the companies for Rothschild and George Osborne and the likes. And all of it is based on the ancient products and names of the Pisa family. Yeah, that's florin, and the floral thing that is also the veneer. Yeah, and when it becomes rosy red, yeah, all of it is ever so funny. And that's the Godfather's lapel and the icon there for the people that look just like the Austrian emperors in the listings that are on the Committee of 300, and their bosses at their federal banks, which are actually their private holiday funds, are dropping like flies, and there are only 30 of them to begin with, until the Star Wars team began to take fright.
You think tonight? You said if I was ever in the area. Besides, it costs next to nothing to get here.
Your TESCO Club card can now get you up to 3/4 off a great range of deals, like £40 of selected rail travel for just £10 of club card vouchers.
Tunnel of Love, Skegness, 1968. Oh, you haven't changed the bed.
TESCO. Every little helps.
I've got some top people coming to my barbecue, so I need some of your top sausages.
Certainly, madam. What about our award-winning pork and leek or finest Cumberland ring?
Perfect for the Barrington Smart.
You get the hot dog jokes now, yeah, and the sieging of the castle with the ballista, yeah, and the loaves and fishes for Jesus. The fishes are the 2 Rothschild penises that sired 9 of Queen Victoria's babies. All bastards, all European monarchs, all bastards. And the genuine ones were murdered and replaced by Romanov, Rothschild, Tsar, Nikolaevich at the beginning of the names.
Right, but Mrs. Green and her husband, he only works at the bank, something a bit less posh.
These pork and bacon sizzlers.
Lovely. Now, for my son-in-law.
These thick pork sausages.
Oh no, what about those little chipolatas?
At TESCO, we try to ensure that everything we sell is of the highest quality across our whole wide range.
Excellent sausages, Mrs. Daniel.
Oh, no, but...
Oh, isn't it heretical to allow religion to enter your videos? Yeah, that's Justin Welby at the Church of England. Yeah, the son, the son of Winston Churchill's private secretary. Yeah, an oil magnate for most of his life, and then he decided to go to Canterbury and become the Archbishop there, and that's when I visited Canterbury in 2006. They had a force 5 quake, or just below force 5.
That wasn't for you, no, that one was for you. Mrs. Barrington's right, you've got the wrong ones too. Oh dear, oh dear.
TESCO. Every little helps.
There you are. I'm just getting a few necessities for our holiday. Necessities? This is a food mountain. There are some things that can't be left behind. Like mothers. Listen, in 4 hours we're flying to France. The home of gastronomy. And you're buying sandwich spread and pickled gherkin. You can't be too careful with foreign catering. And how are you going to get these culinary delights to the continent?
Would you like a bug's putt?
Oh, how kind, thank you.
At Tesco, you'll now find customer assistants willing to help you out in any way they can.
There isn't a lot to packing bags, you know. Always put heavy
The items at the bottom of the bag.
and always put
X at the top. Yes, I know. I'm fully trained.
It's fully trained. You've got lovely hands. Come along.
Can I put the bag in the car for you?
No, you can.
So this is the personal services trailer, yeah, and every character in it is a joke about world history and the wars that they totally engineered as double agents. Everybody that's in Colditz, everybody that is in Stalag 9 are double agents, and all of them are named in that listing that I've just shown you, and almost all the amputees that come out of Colditz are the launch of what we now call the Paralympic Games, and all of them are victims of acts of God, and that is the woman that gets the dolly, you've got a willy, yeah, that's the piezo fish between her legs, yeah, and that is the woman that they get a poposoculu, which is a hand job from all of these people. Yeah, and Poposoculu is the name of the policeman who died in the Sidney Street siege. Not many people know that.
Vestron Pictures presents a kinky comedy from the director of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hello. My name's Terry Jones, and I'd like to welcome you to this G-rated trailer promoting the film that I've just directed. Now, because this is a G-rated trailer,
you might recognise him from Monty Python's He is the Mother of God, that is Brian on the balcony in the Life of Brian movie, and everybody shouts up to him, "Are you a virgin?" And then they're in the stable, yeah, and they're getting no way with him be acting as the mother of Jesus. Jesus is lying in the bandages that are the swaddling clothes for the pharaohs of Egypt and the Swabian dynasty of the Alps. Okay, so you may be familiar with him. Yeah, that's the Mother of God in the Life of Brian, and the actor that played Brian died in his 40s, and everybody gets what they deserve in the end.
Now, there are, of course, limits to what I can tell you about the film.
That's filthy. Really filthy.
I can, for example, tell you the title. It's called Personal Services.
Christine Painter was just another girl next door.
I had a sexual encounter with my landlord today.
Christian San Pedro, yeah, St. Peter, St. Petersburg, and the renaming of Stalingrad after 1.5 million died to keep the joke afloat.
That's all.
The rent.
Until she found a new career
I'll hear another on the way, dear. Bloody hate it. Hang on.
in the oldest profession.
Looks like a big brothel in here.
Now, brothel days are Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. But they do get the party
On a quest, madam, searching for the perfect expression of my femininity.
I'm a police officer.
Wow, you might as well come in now, you're here. Come on, girl.
She's good, you know. She's got talent.
Educating readers, Julie Walters is back.
Look, to be quite honest, the whole problem is that personal services is all about. So, if you want to see for yourselves all the things we can't show you in this G-rated trailer, come and see Personal Services at your local whorehouse now. A cinema, damn! Ruined it all. The whole
Personal Services.
the future.
So there is the history of Shirley Porter, who's tried to close down every brothel in Soho, and that is the daughter of the founder of Tesco's, which is named after they explain the naming of Tesco's, yeah, and this is just a proposal. I cannot impose any beliefs on you, like Dr. Ian Fingland tried to impose on me the fact that I was ill and that he needed to give me a lobotomy to protect the powers that be that run this. This is Dame Shirley Porter, Lady Porter, DBE, née Cohen, the founders of TESCO, and she dedicated her whole life as the daughter and heiress of Sir Jack Cohen. Yeah, that's Jakub if you're a Rothschild. Or in the Austrian nobility, like the Todescos, she was appointed Dame Commander of the British Empire in 1991 by John Major after delivering a spectacular victory in Westminster for the Conservatives in the 1990 elections. Yet, while leader of Westminster Council, she oversaw the building stable communities. Do you get that? In the life of Brian's stable scenes. Only when they realise that they're going to be given gifts does that person that is the Monty Python's director of her movies realise that they should be welcomed as visitors and capitalists and the three wise men that James Blunt then sings about, who are actually Churchill, Stalin, yeah, a Montefiore, yeah, and the daughter of Alois Stalin, and all of it is the massive joke that we're the master racers, and so this one is a citizen of Tel Aviv, yeah, where the Quran was written by Piso and used to be the embassy for Donald until this year, and all of the explanations that he's given for that are just the cover that he wants to use the divide and conquer tool that was Piso's to keep the world in fear. His wife is from Austro-Hungary, and Austro-Hungary gets as many floods as do the totally crooked Netherlands politicians that include Roosevelt, and all of the stories that I've told you about the Roosevelt mansions being called Springwood, like the Elliots of Springwood, and the women that sing the opera songs out of Glasgow that are Elliots of Springwood. I forget her name, and it's totally unimportant. She's councillor for Hyde Park, right in the heart of England, London, and right next to the Victoria and Albert Museum and Concert Hall. And lots of her time is spent on getting rid of prostitution in Soho, where we have to go to become New Zealand citizens eventually. And there it is, Soho and the sex trade, homes for votes scandal, and everything is trivial. And there's no picture of her, but I think I've got one somewhere else. Oh no, it's the laxatives. There's the Committee of 300 and all the Austrian nobles are still on it. Yeah, all the videos I've made. Yeah, this is not vengeance, it's a logical exposure. And there is the Deutsche Morgan Grenfell Group Public Limited Company with Christopher Reeves, yeah, being the boss of the Bank of England, being Superman, who God broke his back, allowed him to spend a couple of years in a wheelchair sponsoring stem cell research to cure himself, and then he packed up his boots and his clogs, and that is Stark Heseltine and Christopher Reeve, that were both bosses at the Bank of England. And there is Miss Therese Catherine McCarthy Hockey and the Joyce Grenfell people that are married into those families. That's Baroness Linda Chalker of Wallesley, and Christopher Reginald Reeves joined the Bank of England in 1958, and there is the Grenfell Tower that he was director of, as well as the Deutsche Bank, and that's Deutsche Morgan Grenfell, and the London Tower scandal that is duped all of you into believing that some of that actually occurred. All of it is the richest people in the world, and reeve in Scotland means sheriff, and that's the border reivers. All of them are outlaws, and all of them run the Merrill Lynch international banks, the Merrill Lynch Europe banks, British Executive Services overseas. He joined Morgan Grenfell in 1968. That's Christopher Reginald Reeves, the real reason for the Grenfell Tower false news. And I think that may be time up, but I think that's enough evidence for the moment. And there is Jennifer Anistons with her kit off, and all the images of her. That is Arius Calpurnius Piso's next names, and one of the noble families from Austria are Arnstein, and you can guess that that is the governor of California, who's not Glenn Hoddle, or Archbishop Hoodle. He helped Pope Pius XII get all the Nazis out. And I don't know whether or not Kurt Cruz of Ottawa University is actually descended from the character that was in the Odessa movie, but has no images on the internet. Okay, and all of it is a premeditated plot, and there is the Queen, who gets 6.5% pay rise. She's on the Piso-Windsor bloodline. She is an Austrian noble, as the Windsors, and that is why she's best friends with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's ex-women, who now include his new mother of his child is going to be Jennifer Aniston, since I put her back in the limelight with all of her famille on display. And there is Barroso, the boss of the EU, and as soon as I revealed that he was a mobster trained in the same places as Brandeis in America, that is Princeton. He was not trained at Princeton, but Brandeis was. And there are Abdullah of Jordan, Albert II, King of Belgium, Alexander, Crown Prince of Yugoslavia in Austro-Hungary, Andrew, Duke of York, Anne, Princess Royal, Berlusconi, Silvio, all of them on the Committee of 300, with Rebecca Brooks and David Cameron, who's poking his head over her shoulder. Donald Berwick is the launch of the serial killer Breivik in Norway, and he's the Obama Financial Services Medicare fraudster, and it's as simple as that. And all of you are really simple if you believe anything about the terror news that is all they can do to protect themselves from people like me. Okay, and there's Butlins and the neighbours of Rothschild that include that man in that one there, that is Mervyn King, director at Aston Villa, I think, and all of the football teams are covers, and there is possibly one of the world's innocent people, because he's an innocent analyst and a friend of mine on Skype, and he lives in the place where the river runs through it movie was made, and that is where there are less bastards than anywhere else in the globe, and it is right next to Field McConnell, the double agents airbase, and that is Field McConnell, who promised to make videos with me fortnightly for revealing all of the financial things that he'd never heard anything about, but was keen to learn. I've never heard from him again. Okay, Dean Henderson lived in the town where Brad Pitt made the movie with the Baldwins of Hollywood and Jerusalem. That is all the elite families that are on the world owning bloodline, and that is Conrad Black, the Conradians of Jerusalem. I think we might be out of time now, but I just want you to know that I have nothing against Tesco's and any of its employees. but Tesco's, loads of it is taken over by the 4th richest man in the world, who is Warren Buffett. And I forgot to put that in the earlier video on Tesco's. He pumped and dumped it, and even in the town of Galashiels, which is the joke that Gala and Galan is another nickname for Piso, and it means chicken. Yeah, and on it goes, and that is the cock crowing when St. Peter, who never lived, denied that Jesus was his friend. And all of it is written from the nicknames and the pen of Iris Proponus Piso, who did not use that pompous name. He used all those nicknames instead. And then people like Obama, you become Suetonius, who are his newsmen through all world history. Yeah, and that's Barack Obama, and that is St. Baruch of Cardiff Bay, where Gavin and Stacey live, and it is totally evil and corrupted. That's Gavin and Stacey and the earliest Piso popes, Pope Alexander, Pope Higgins, and now all of the things. The Higginses were my bosses at Durham University when I was an honorary professor there, and they have stolen all of my kit. Thousands and thousands of pounds worth of equipment that filled like the value of my house went in one container. My laboratory went in another massive one, full of ultra expensive equipment that I took as assets to Otago University, because all the universities all around the world are victims of the student loans crisis, which has been imposed on them by Nathan Rothschild and Hannah Mary Rothschild's family, and the student loans company was run by Vince Cable, which is why the DTI has changed its name to the Business Innovation and Skills, and that at the same time covers the fact that Mervyn King and all of his predecessors trained at the Bank of International Settlements, which is Business Innovation and Skills. And for John Cleese and the billionaires, that is Basel Fawlty, and we've got all its output in our pockets and our briefcases. Anyway, I'm going to stop there if I can. Okay, and let's just have a couple of minutes more of the Tesco story. Okay, oh sorry, we're on personal services. So we might get the POPOSOCULU.
Oh God, that's better. Running Buffet's more like a stampede. She's a mean cow, my sister. Tuppence says there's margin the bridge rolls. Oh God, she's got it all organised. And Edgar? Have you ever seen anything more boring than Edgar? What a party! There's no Lou rolling here, okay?
So this is Julie Walters, the madam in the brothel, and this is one of our employees who gives the men a hand job. Yeah, that's called a POPOSOCULU, and that is the dead policeman shot dead in the Sidney Street siege, in Tottenham, to allow them to launch the Jewish cemetery there for Barent-Cohen, for the Cohen family that are married to the Rothschilds, and that becomes the Jewish cemeteries in Tottenham. And the Sidney Street siege allowed Stalin to escape, and as I said, he is like the other marital linkage to Rothschild. He is a Montefiore relative, and that is the massive Kisa Dugdale Dugashvili lineages, and all the stories that Greg Hallett was murdered for are now emblazoned in my head, but none of that was told us by him. Yeah, and Merkel is absolutely sinister. All of them are Austrian nobles, and she's descended, the new wife of Prince Harry, who's not a British royal at all. He's the son of James Hewitt, and that's the Hewitts that become Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, and on it fucking goes. And none of the money goes to the people, and all of the taxes are used now to run the scam and pay for the actors and the body doubles. Totally tragic, and there are people sleeping on the seats of every city in the world, yet because of this scam. And my wife is just in the brothel team too, yet totally dedicated to getting rid of the innocent man so that the world's chaos can continue and she can pay her grocery bills at Tesco's.
There it is. Oh dear.
Looking lovely in their royal blue commoner cape, don't you think? Killing kittens on her way to the prince's heart.
It's not a laughing matter.
Right then, I think we'll stop there. Okay, and on the world goes, and it's totally sleazy. And let me play you before we stop. Vince Vaughn. Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, the video that allows them to show that Telly Savalas is King Herod. Right.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Hereditary.
So this is the breakup official trailer. Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn, Telly Savalas played King Herod in the movies about the execution of Jesus and the greatest story ever told. Jesus never lived. The Piso pen created him, and that is the creation of Ariston, one of his pen names. The man who wrote the Bible is Arius Piso, Alpha to Omega, P and O, beginning to end. All of it is a scam, and we can end it now without any arrests and just by telling the truth.
Mary?
Yeah.
We got 3 lemons.
Well, my baby wants, my baby gets.
No, I wanted 12. Baby wanted 12.
Why do you want 12?
Because I'm making a 12-lemon centerpiece.
So no one's even going to eat the lemons? You're suggesting to me that these are just show?
Lemon Brothers.
Lemons?
After 2 years
Bank
together,
crashing.
Tony and Brooke have reached a critical point in their relationship.
Fine, I'll help you do the dishes.
No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the
I
dishes.
want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
I'm done.
What?
What happened? We just broke up.
You can stay with me. You think I'm going to move out of the place and let her keep it? I don't know. I'm not Columbo. The only logical thing that I can think of is for her to move out of the condo and then to pay me some sort of a pimp.
Condominium also means Piso, depending on which language you look up. I spent 2 days looking up the word Piso and how it converts into different languages. Condominium and blocks of flats, like they have in Stalingrad, is a huge pistic, and Naples is just the same. And when they come crashing down under earthquakes and volcanic lava, that creates hell and panic, like I saw with the little pool on the students' table the other evening, the students from Austro-Hungary.
NOT.
What? Excuse me.
The battle is on.
Don't even get me started, by the way, on your sister.
My sister's been through a lot.
She slept with the entire Arizona Cardinals offensive line.
He was on vacation!
The gloves are off.
What about your brother?
Richard is not gay.
Move yourself. You always live your life, never thinking of the future.
The lines have been drawn.
Out of my house now!
I think you're just a little embarrassed that Richard can try.
Is that how you want to play it? Because I'll play it like Lionel Richie all night long, lady.
And their true feelings are coming out.
One thing is for sure is you heard. I'm excited.
So that's why Lionel Richie played his concert in PIE Perth last week, the night I attended the racing. Yeah, and that's the Pisa horseshoe, Alpha to Omega, on the Paschal candle every Easter to celebrate the death of the non-existent Jesus, and the Rolling Stones from his tomb become Mick Jagiellonian, yeah, serial killer in Austro-Hungarian Jagiellonian dynasty, and Emperor Barbarossa, and all those 1,000-year wars between Christian denominations.
I look at it like I'm on vacation.
I need to get somebody really hot. Hi, Mike. I'm going to make Gary jealous. I'm going to be just a few more seconds. Just sit down.
And leave it on the field!
Do you mind if we finish the game? We got a real nail biter going here.
Sure.
Tell Gary to call me.
Universal Pictures presents.
I might actually lose him.
Go see Mishka, my personal waxer at the spa. Ask her for the Telly Savalas.
He loves it, baby.
So that's her bare naked fania, and that is the fania for every bunny girl through world history. And the people that are Rothschild's neighbours, yeah, and the owners of Butlins now live in the Stocks mansion that used to be run by the cricketer, forget what his name is, from South Africa, and it used to be run before that by Victor Lowndes, and he was involved in the bunny girls' murders by the Busby babes, who were his equivalent in America. And it is absolutely pathetic that none of us are civilized enough to end it now, Jennifer. Naked Fania.
Vince Vaughn. Jennifer Aniston. The Breakup.
So, Revelations. You understand it now. C'est moi, and I'm closing there. Yeah, do not punish Tesco's. Yeah, all of it is a legacy of the most evil and greediest families in the world. Just talk about it on the bus, like I do to the Tesco employees. Okay, bye bye.